do you guys expect at the end of the season, or what is your expectations as fans for Forest this season?
I think it's not about expectation, it's about hope. It's about hope. I really hope that they would stay because EPL is a different league from the championship. But I think now that they are back, I think it's a matter of staying. Like I mentioned earlier, being a first newbie, their target is just to survival. They have to, whatever points they can get, just have to maintain that. Even they finish 17, 16, I'm more than happy. At least then next year it's a new thing and have one experience. Hopefully they can ride on that for the next year. And by then the 22 players, they have more experience. Then they'll come back from wherever they are, some of them, right? Yeah, because some of them have been rolled out. So when they come back, that's bringing another perspective, hopefully.
Yeah, I think for me, I think for all Forest fans, the challenge is for survival. Although they have these new players, I think they need to adapt and adjust and try to maintain for survival. So no big expectation for this season, survival, and then regroup. Hopefully they can strengthen the squad for next season.
Yeah, progress takes time.
We cannot live in this kind, where for us we were European champion before, and it's not walk in the park, anymore. The challenge is there.
It's different.
Yeah? So what we are hoping is that survival, and then regroup to work on the next season.
Well, being promoted, you guys got a budget. You got that money for being promoted, and I think you all have strengthened your squad, and hopefully you all progress in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup as long as after that don't win Arsenal lah. Okay, that one important.
No, in fact, I think what's also important, I think the chairman, because the chairman, you see, in any of the clubs, whether the chairman was prepared to spend the money. And that's why the chairman was, because some of the, for example, like Manchester United, when the Glazers bought, it's for their own.
Yeah.
The club is in a big debt, actually. Right? So, whereas for Forest, he was prepared. And not just that, I think he also putting money to rebuild the whole stadium, the infrastructure, and getting the city support. Because when you look at Nottingham, it's one of the main towns in England. And that's why the plan is to develop the whole infrastructure so that we can get more fan base for Forest.
But is there a fear that if you guys do get relegated, you're stuck with a massive wage bill of these 22 players and of course expanding the grounds? That's why survival is so important.
Yeah, I think it also depends on the players, right? Because they want to play the Premier League. So again, when you see some of the other clubs when they get relegated, where some of the players, will opt for a transfer, and of course
they have to offload the players, right?
Yeah, I mean, even for the players, if they still have the value, then they'll be sought after by other bigger clubs because they know that it's a bit of a bargain. The club get relegated, the player is still good, So in terms of your transfer fee, it should be a bit more acceptable to the clubs. Yeah.
And I think that's from the business point of view, and I think that's what happened when they bought 22 players, because that is an investment on its own. So if they were to relegated, they have to offload and then they sell at a different rate. That's why they recoup back the money, right? So even if they don't relegate, they still can sell at a higher rate, right? So either way, it's a win-win. And talking about expansion, the club already has plans to expand even if they don't promote. They already had that. In fact, they had to, because they got promoted, they halt on the expansion. The reason being, if they expand right now, partial of the stadium will be set aside for expansion, which means instead of 30,000, maybe about 20,000 come, which is lesser people to come, right? Yeah, so they will continue to expand next year. Yeah, because at least because their plan is this is their first season in Premiership. Let everybody come experience Premiership matches for this year. Yes, next year they will continue expansion wherever they are. Yeah, and I hope they stay lah. So at least if they stay, the people 30,000 each game already experience Premier League. Then next year, okay lah, experience ready. So let's expand. So put aside 20,000 people, 10,000 expansion. So by the time they expand, even more can come lah. So that's why I like the current owner. He has this business because he himself is a business owner. So the way he planned, I got to know his plans, I was intrigued. I mean, I run my own business. So and looking at it, I'm intrigued myself. Wow, this guy. That's why when I was really hoping, and in fact, they got promoted at the 5th year within his plan, 5-year plan.
Yeah, that's impressive, you know.
Yep.
When you talk about it, because we don't know. You guys as Forest fans, you really know about the owners and all that, right? That word hope is very important.
Yeah.
And I think continue with the plan of expansion even without the fear of relegation. You know, because you know that for the past 5 years, you all have done something well.
Yeah.
And on that 5th year, you kind of get promoted and you can see the fruits of the plan.
Yep.
So why not just go for it, have another 5-year plan, you know, just expand. And I think trust the owners as well, right?
I think the other part also will try to highlight is also how do you develop the team. Forest is known from the youth academy, right? So for example, the current players, Ryan Yates, Brendan Johnson, they were basically from the youth team. So, and Forest has been known to develop I think, to be fair, Arsenal too have a good youth academy.
Yes.
Right? So, what's important is not just to buy players, but also to develop. So, there's a bit of the local part that they are trying to develop. In fact, if you recall last season, the FA Youth Cup, and I was surprised it was available on Singtel.
Oh.
Yeah, and Forest against Man U.
Yeah.
In fact, the semi-final, Forest beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then Forest played Man U. In fact, Forest played well. Then
But eventually Man U won it.
Eventually, Man U won.
Yeah.
So it's just to show that at the youth level, you know, you need to develop your team, and it goes anywhere else. Even we're talking about in Singapore, we're talking about Premier League clubs. You need to develop the local youth academy. So from there, then you are able to bring up the talent for them to play at the higher level.
Correct. When it comes to development, you have to go at every level, from youth to seniors and
Exactly.
all that.
Yep.
Don't just aim. Don't just give a year and then aim for World Cup. Okay, must have a plan. Okay, must have proper grassroots
Football,
development,
sure.
football and all
Yeah,
that.
they had the Milo scheme back then.
Oh man, Milo School,
so,
they develop a lot of good players.
Exactly. You see, it worked. Yeah.
Okay, hopefully we have hope for local football.
Yeah.
Faith. Keep the faith.
No, we have to, as Singaporeans,
Have to,
you can support any other English club, any other clubs, any other World Cup, but we all Singaporeans. So we are always hoping that, we can actually progress, in at least you're talking about in ASEAN, pick up,
At least lah, the least.
because if not, then, last time playing against Myanmar, Cambodia, was quite easy. Now we are struggling.
We are the whipping boys.
Whipping boy.